stage back here playing guitar. And today you get to know me a little better if you haven't already. I'll start with my background. I was very lucky to be born in a Christian family, like a lot of us here, who had strong beliefs and had a plan for me, I'm sure. From a young age, I attended Sunday school, and as you do, you learn a lot in Sunday school, which lays great foundations for your faith. But as I started to grow older, about age 9, I started to lose interest in Sunday school, as you do. Start to get sick of the talking vegetables and so on. I wanted to advance my faith. Thankfully, my mum dragged me along every Sunday to my delight, and I still long to talk to God every day and have a strong relationship with Him. But at that time, I had little knowledge and thus struggled to find Him, especially for consistent periods. At about age 11, I started going to summer Christian camps, which were really fun and enjoyable, but I never fully immersed myself in Jesus, which is very important. I went to about 3 of these summer camps, and I learnt a lot and met a lot of nice people. But about age 13, I had really little interest in the Bible and really prayed, which makes it very tough in life. I asked God into my life a lot, but as I didn't pray, I felt He wasn't talking to me, so it's very important to read the Bible, because that's the means to which God talks to us the most. Then in 2009, I moved to Australia from New Zealand, where I had grown up. A few months into it, my parents asked me to look for a Baptist church, because that's what we had done for a long time, and I had no idea how you find a Baptist church. So I just hopped on Google Maps and typed in Baptist church, looked for the closest one within our area, and that was Sydenham Baptist Church. Thank goodness for that. So my parents came along the first Sunday, just to check it out and make sure it was fine. And they came back and told me they had a good feeling. So the next Sunday we attended for the first time. I still remember the first Sunday I came to SBC. The first person I met was Alistair Templeton, and as you may know, Alistair was former Pastor Greg's son. He was very friendly and invited me up to Sunday school, and I think it's very important that we welcome all new people into a church with love and care. So I went to Sunday school, and that was good fun, and you got to hang out with the youth every Sunday. But once again, I started to get bored again. So that seems to be a common thing in my life. So I decided to start sitting in these services and looked for God every week, but not through the Bible once again. Just hoping I'd get the message, or God would talk to me with His deep voice. One Sunday I was walking out into the car park, as you do, and my mum just said, "I reckon you should play guitar up at the church." And I went, "Oh, no way. I'm not ready for this." But then she turned around and said, "If you play on stage, I will buy your next guitar." So, that was a really good hook. So I talked to people about church. Talked to people at the church about being part of the team, and I was quickly incorporated into the band and haven't looked back since. Being a part of the team is very important because helped me learn a lot about the church and its members and its people and what it stood for. And I would encourage everyone here to take part in the church in any way or form. One day I was approached by Melissa Bonello, and she asked me to attend this ESA camp. And I thought it may be interesting, but as you know, I'd been to a few Christian camps already, and that hadn't really fulfilled me. So Melissa was very vibrant and encouraged me a few times. This was over the period of about 1.5 years. And she kept asking me, and I think it's great that we should acknowledge people like Melissa who seek to bring their joy into other people. I finally took up an offer to go to an ESA camp this past January. And it was great. It was only going to be for a few days, but it was a very important few days for me. On the second last night of camp, at our afternoon get-togethers, as we did, a fellow camper felt the urge to share her testimony. I won't go into the details of the testimony, but I can say it did silence a whole crowd of teenagers for what felt like 2 hours, which is a very hard task. It had a profound effect on me, not just me, but I'm sure a lot of people in the room, anyone who attended, a lot of us here. And I felt it was the first experience where God was telling me it was time to really step up my faith, and I could feel His presence. I learned a lot of valuable lessons at the camp, and unlike previous camps, I was left with an excitement which I felt might be longer lasting, which is what I've longed for so long. As I returned home from camp, I can't explain it, but I had an amazing feeling of peace and calm that I'd never felt before, which is crazy for me because I'm a pretty calm person. If you ask me. I quickly began to read the Bible thanks to iPhone app, so yeah, thanks to the iPhones. And this really assisted me in talking to God, who for the first time I felt was talking to me. Maybe the correlation of reading the Bible and God talking to me was there. And I think me coming to Christ came at a very important time in my life. It was just before I was about to commence year 12, which is a very big year, as all of you may understand. At the start of my Bible reading, I was introduced to 3 significant figures in the Bible, and I thought God had a lesson to teach in each of these figures. These figures in my case were Job, David, and Jonah. I'm sure a lot of you have read about these figures, but I'll just quickly go over what I felt I learnt from these 3 figures. In Job's story, I learnt that friends are very important, especially in times of distress. And most of all, we should trust the Lord with a crazy amount of faith, because Job went through so much and still believed in the Lord no matter what, and he was blessed for that. In the case of Jonah, God was adamant that he would have an important role, but Jonah continually tried to run away. And I feel that's like a lot of us here, who are asked by God to do certain things, but really don't want to, and will do anything other than what God wants us to do. And I often tried to just forge my own path, but that never led me to anything as amazing as God. David seemed to be a nobody, a young man whose brothers were at war, but eventually defeated Goliath, because that's what God had planned. I learned that if God has a plan for you, it will be fulfilled, no matter what. Throughout this period, I started to build up an ammunition of Bible verses, my favourite being Psalm 31:24, which goes, "Be strong and take heart, all of you who hope in the Lord." I love this verse and go over it every day, because we have struggles every day, big struggles and small struggles, and just knowing that God will be there for us is very important. Although my recent journey with Jesus is relatively short, I have already learned a lot in this short period and feel very refreshed knowing that God has plans for me. I'd like to leave you with one of my favourite Bible verses again, Jeremiah 29:11, which goes, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, 'plans to give you hope and a future.'" Thank you all.